What if the world has been overlooking some of its most powerful minds? What if the traits we often label as weakness are actually sources of deep strength? And what if the pressure to be louder, faster, and more outgoing is holding many people back from doing their best work? These are the questions explored in Quiet by Susan Cain, a book that challenges the modern obsession with extroversion and reveals the hidden power of introverts. Susan Cain begins by describing what she calls the extrovert ideal. In many cultures, especially in the modern workplace and education system, traits like assertiveness, sociability, and constant confidence are rewarded. People are encouraged to speak up, think out loud, and collaborate constantly. Introversion is often misunderstood as shyness, weakness, or lack of ambition. Cain argues that this bias ignores the value of reflection, focus, and depth. Introversion, Cain explains, is not about being antisocial. It is about how people respond to stimulation. Introverts tend to feel most energized by quiet environments, solitude, and deep concentration. Extroverts tend to gain energy from external stimulation and social interaction. Neither style is better. They are simply different. Problems arise when society rewards one style at the expense of the other. Cain explores how this bias developed historically. In earlier cultures, character traits like seriousness, humility, and restraint were admired. With the rise of industrialization, urbanization, and sales culture, personality became more important than character. Being charismatic, persuasive, and bold became essential for success. This shift gradually marginalized introverted strengths. One of the core messages of Quiet is that many of the greatest contributions in history were made by introverts. Cain highlights examples such as scientists, artists, writers, and innovators who relied on solitude and deep focus to produce breakthrough work. Creativity often requires uninterrupted time and internal reflection. Noise and constant collaboration can dilute original thinking. Cain explains that introverts often excel at deep work. They are able to focus intensely for long periods, think carefully before speaking, and analyze complex problems. These abilities are essential for innovation, research, and thoughtful leadership. Yet many modern environments discourage these strengths by prioritizing constant interaction. The book also examines how schools often favor extroverted behavior. Group work, participation grades, and open classroom designs can overwhelm introverted students. Cain argues that while collaboration has value, it should not replace individual thinking. Many children do their best thinking alone before sharing ideas. Education should nurture both styles. Another key theme in Quiet is the difference between leadership styles. Cain challenges the idea that the best leaders are always charismatic and dominant. Introverted leaders often listen more carefully, empower others, and create space for independent thinking. Research shows that introverted leaders can be highly effective, especially when leading proactive teams. Cain also explores the relationship between introversion and sensitivity. Many introverts are more sensitive to stimuli, such as noise, light, and emotional cues. This sensitivity can be overwhelming, but it also allows for greater empathy, awareness, and insight. Sensitivity is not fragility, it is responsiveness. The book discusses the concept of the sweet spot. Performance is highest at an optimal level of stimulation. Too little stimulation leads to boredom. Too much leads to anxiety and decreased performance. Introverts tend to reach this optimal level with less stimulation than extroverts. Understanding this helps individuals design environments where they can thrive. Cain also examines the pressure to perform socially. Many introverts feel they must act like extroverts to succeed. This constant self-monitoring is exhausting and unsustainable. Cain encourages readers to stretch when necessary, but not to abandon their natural temperament. Authenticity leads to better performance and well-being. The book explores how cultural differences shape attitudes toward introversion. In some cultures, quietness and restraint are signs of wisdom and respect. In others, they are seen as weakness. Cain argues that global collaboration requires appreciation of different communication styles. Diversity includes temperament as well as background. Cain also addresses relationships. Introverts and extroverts can form strong partnerships when they understand and respect each other's needs. Problems arise when differences are misinterpreted. Introverts may need solitude to recharge. Extroverts may need interaction. Neither is rejecting the other. Communication bridges the gap. Another important idea in quiet is the power of solitude. Solitude is not loneliness. It is a state of being alone with one's thoughts. Cain argues that solitude is essential for creativity, emotional processing, and self-understanding. Without solitude, people lose touch with their inner voice. Cain examines how modern technology increases stimulation and reduces opportunities for quiet, constant notifications. Social media and open office designs make it harder to focus. Introverts often feel especially drained by this environment. Designing intentional boundaries becomes essential. The book also explores fear and social anxiety. Cain distinguishes between introversion and anxiety. Introversion is a temperament. Anxiety is a state. Introverts can be confident and socially skilled. They simply need recovery time afterward. Understanding this difference reduces stigma. Cain highlights how many introverts thrive in roles that require listening, analysis, and long-term thinking. Counseling, research, writing, engineering, and strategic planning are examples. Success does not require constant visibility. Impact can be quiet. Another major theme is the danger of groupthink. When groups prioritize harmony and quick consensus, dissenting ideas are suppressed. Introverts are often more comfortable working independently and challenging assumptions. Their presence strengthens decision-making. Cain encourages organizations to rethink collaboration. Brainstorming works better when individuals generate ideas alone before sharing. Open offices should include quiet spaces. Meetings should allow written input. These changes benefit everyone, not just introverts. The book also explores the idea of free trait theory. Introverts can act like extroverts when pursuing meaningful goals. This does not mean changing who you are. It means choosing when to stretch. Purpose makes discomfort worthwhile. Cain emphasizes that self-acceptance is key. Many introverts grow up believing something is wrong with them. Quiet reframes introversion as a strength. When people understand their temperament, they can design lives that fit rather than forcing themselves into unsuitable molds. The deeper message of quiet is that the world needs both introverts and extroverts. Progress requires bold action and thoughtful reflection, speaking and listening, collaboration and solitude. When one style dominates, balance is lost. The big takeaway from quiet is clear. Being quiet does not mean being weak. It means processing deeply, listening carefully, and acting deliberately. Introversion is not a limitation to overcome. It is a strength to understand and use wisely. So which idea from quiet resonates most with you? The power of solitude? The value of deep work? the need to stop pretending to be someone you are not, or the reminder that impact does not always require noise? Share your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoyed this summary, like this video, subscribe to 10-Minute Books, and tap the bell so you never miss our weekly deep dives into life-changing books. Remember, there is strength in quiet, and the world needs it.